If you've ever ridden the Soarin' ride while at any of the Disney parks, you may have been blown away and intrigued by all of the places that you soar around while on the ride. But here's the thing, would you believe me if I told you that those are real places that you can actually visit in real life? Now, you may be familiar with some of the locations on the ride, such as the well-known Eiffel Tower, but there might be some other locations that you may not know where to find. Whether or not you're new here, welcome back to the Megan Moves channel, where in this series we are talking about real-world locations that have inspired some Disney park rides. And with that, in this video, we are going to be talking about all of the locations that are featured in the Soarin' ride and share a little bit of the popular things that you can see and do while visiting that area. So if this is a series you'd be interested in keeping up on, definitely hit that subscribe button below. And with that, let's get into these locations. If you aren't particularly familiar with the Soarin' ride, Soarin' is a simulated ride that can be found at a couple of the Disney World parks. As I mentioned, it is a simulated ride where you are in front of an IMAX screen, and it appears as though you are on a hang glider tour through numerous locations around the world. While on this ride, guests are lifted into the air, and the use of gentle motion, scents, as well as wind effects make it appear as though you are flying over the numerous landmarks that we are going to be talking about today. So with that, we'll get into the first location that you'll see while on the Soarin' ride, and that is the Matterhorn. Now, the Matterhorn is a mountain located in the Alps where it straddles Italy and Switzerland. Now, the Matterhorn is a landmark that you'll definitely know when you see it due to its near symmetric pyramidal peak shape. And the height of the Matterhorn makes it one of the highest summits in the Alps as well as Europe. As we talked about its shape, the Matterhorn is one of the most distinctive mountains in the world, and it has become a very well-known symbol of Switzerland. A very well-known spot to visit while visiting the Matterhorn is a town called Zermatt. Zermatt is located at the end of the Matterhorn Valley, and it is one of the most scenic spots in Switzerland. There are a ton of outdoor activities that you can take advantage of when visiting this area, such as dog sledding rides, skiing, hiking. But if that's not your speed, you can definitely hang out downtown and enjoy some of the local cuisine. I love visiting mountains, and after doing some research on the Matterhorn, I have definitely added this location to my bucket list. The second spot you'll fly over while on the Soarin' ride are the Isfjords in Greenland. While soaring over the Isfjord, you can see polar bears hop into the water as well as an orca jump out at you. Now, Isfjord literally means ice fjord in the Danish language. Here you can find what Greenland is most well known for, and that is its immense glaciers and tundra. If you're looking for a place to visit while in Greenland, one of the more touristy areas that I've seen people visit is a town called Ilulissat. Ilulissat is located on the southwestern part of Greenland, but here you can get extraordinary views of the area because the town is surrounded by views of the tundra. Now, Ilulissat is an iceberg paradise, which is fitting because the word Ilulissat actually means iceberg. Like with the Matterhorn, here you can participate in numerous outdoor activities, but the one that particularly piques my interest is going dog sledding to see the Northern Lights. Now, I have always wanted to see the Northern Lights myself, but by going via dog sled, it seems like an experience that I would never forget. Not only can you explore the surrounding town as well, but there are actually also aerial flights that you can take around to see the area from a new perspective, similar to the Soarin' ride. But when doing research on Ilulissat, an interesting fact that I found out was that the iceberg that had sunk the Titanic was most likely born in Ilulissat. But enough talk of this cold weather, let's get into the third location that you can see while on the Soarin' ride, and we're going to be talking about the Kilimanjaro National Park as well as Mount Kilimanjaro located in Tanzania. While on the ride, you will be swept through a herd of elephants while being able to see Mount Kilimanjaro in the distance. This part of the ride is particularly interesting to me because when the elephant flips its trunk and sprays dirt, it's interesting because you can really smell the dirt of the area. So when they say that they add smells into the ride to make you feel like you are immersed in that location, they aren't lying. Of course, while visiting this park, you have the option of doing hiking and climbing to see the area, but you also have the option to take your very own safari tour around the park. To me, this seems like an amazing experience because it would be like your very own real-world Kilimanjaro safari, similar to that in Animal Kingdom. With the fourth location, we're going to be soaring over one of the wonders of the world, and we'll be seeing the Great Wall of China. After getting sprayed by the elephant, you have transitioned over and are flying over the Great Wall of China. Now, besides walking around the Great Wall and seeing the area, there's actually a lot more to be able to do than I was expecting. You have the option to have a picnic while at the Great Wall of China, do some climbing, and two of the interesting things that I found out was that there's actually a marathon that happens on the Great Wall, as well as a roller coaster that is in the area. Now, you may be intrigued by this roller coaster option as well, and after looking into it, whenever you are visiting the Great Wall of China, of course you have to maybe hike up and down some of the parts. But in one particular segment of the Great Wall of China, they actually have mini roller coaster carts that you're able to ride down the portions of the downhill portion of the Great Wall of China. This definitely seems like another memorable experience when visiting the area, and not to mention it can save your legs a little bit. The fifth place you can actually visit that we'll soar over is the Sydney Harbor. Now, if you've ever seen Finding Nemo, the fifth location here may look a little bit familiar to you, but if you didn't know, the Sydney Harbor is located in Sydney, Australia. One of the major landmarks that you can visit while in Sydney is the Sydney Opera House. But if you're interested in seeing the area similar to that of the Soarin' ride, there are aerial helicopter tours that you can take to see the area. Along with that, other things to see and do while in Sydney is to see the Sydney Harbour Bridge, some botanical gardens, a farmer's market, and many more. The sixth location that you get up close and personal with while on the Soarin' ride are the Great Pyramids in Egypt. Now, while seeing the pyramids is neat on the Soarin' ride, I'm sure it's nothing like seeing them in person. When visiting the pyramids, there are a couple of scenic spots that you can go to get good views of the pyramids, but there are also tours that you can take to go inside. But when visiting this area, one thing that particularly interests me, while it may be a very touristy option, is to actually take a camel ride. To me, that seems like a very interesting and unforgettable way to see the pyramids. One of my favorite locations in the Soarin' ride is the seventh location here, which is the Taj Mahal in India. The reason why I like this location in particular while on the Soarin' ride is because as you are flying over the Taj Mahal, there are rose scents that are emitted. Now, I would be particularly interested to see if I visited the Taj Mahal in real life, would it really smell like roses? But either way, it really adds to the experience while on the ride. Now, if you haven't seen it before, the Taj Mahal is a white ivory mausoleum located in India, and I read that the Taj Mahal appears to gradually alter its color depending on the time of day. So when visiting the Taj Mahal, it seems like it would be worth the effort to get up and see a sunrise as well as a sunset there to see the Taj Mahal in a different perspective. The one location on the Soarin' ride that you'll soar through that is located in the United States is Monument Valley. On the Soarin' ride, you will soar through and see what makes up Monument Valley, which are the tall, majestic buttes that make up the area, as well as some hot air balloons in the distance. Now, Monument Valley is located in Arizona, and upon driving into the valley, you may notice a picturesque view that seems very familiar. This is the popular and famous view that you can see in a couple of movies such as Forrest Gump, but this valley contains majestic sandstone masterpieces called buttes, and these structures can be anywhere from 400 to 1,000 feet tall. Not to mention that, but the area is framed by beautiful picturesque clouds throughout the day. Now, it's free to drive through the valley, but if you're looking to get a little bit more for the experience, you can go on a guided Navajo tour where you can see more of the area and learn a little bit more about the area's history. One of the more tropical places you can find that you soar through while on the Soarin' ride are the Lau Islands located in Fiji. Now, I love visiting tropical places, so this seems right up my alley. These are very pristine islands that when visiting, you'll most likely see some of the clearest water that you have ever seen. And if you are interested in snorkeling, this seems like the perfect location for you because there are snorkeling spots found just about anywhere. And moving right along, we will now soar over the Iguazu Falls located in Argentina. During this portion of the ride, you are given a bit of an adrenaline rush as you are soaring over the Iguazu Falls due to this marvelous aerial view that you have. These falls definitely speak for themselves, but they have been known as one of the Earth's most stunning natural sights. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can experience these falls. One interesting way is you can actually take a boat tour to the base of the falls. There are a couple of scenic lookout points that you can also go to visit, as well as a walking trail around the falls. And while experiencing the falls, there's a lot of exotic wildlife that you can see while in the area. An interesting fact that I read about the Iguazu Falls is that with the combined flow of all of these individual waterfalls, it makes it one of the largest waterfalls in the world. It's actually taller than Niagara Falls and twice as wide. Now, I've been to Niagara Falls before and I thought that was impressive, but seeing these falls would probably be a totally different experience. And the last location you soar over before heading back to Epcot is a location I'm sure you have seen, and that is the Eiffel Tower located in France. While on the ride, you'll soar around the Eiffel Tower and get a view that you maybe have never seen before. I've had the pleasure of visiting Paris a couple of times in the past, and there's definitely a lot you can see and do while in the area. Paris has a very rich history with lots of museums that you can go to see. One of the more well-known museums, of course, is the Louvre, but not only that, they have amazing cuisine that you can experience, and one thing that I love to get were their crepes. So when visiting Paris, definitely head to a cafe or somewhere to experience some of their delicious cuisine. But if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you're a Disney fan, which means when in Paris, you should definitely go and check out Disneyland Paris. But all suggestions aside, when visiting the Eiffel Tower, you can purchase tickets to go up into the tower and get an amazing aerial view of the city. But also, would you believe me if I told you that there's actually a restaurant up in the Eiffel Tower? That is a place I would like to go one day. Now, I'd be interested to know, have you ever visited any of these locations in real life, or are there any that particularly pique your interest? Let me know in the comments below. I love Disney's attention to detail, and I thought it was very interesting the choices that they chose to include in the Soarin' ride. And I thought that the ride did a good job of giving you a broad spectrum of places and things to do while traveling. I hope you found this video enjoyable and maybe have a sense of inspiration to go and visit one of these areas. And if you're interested in keeping up with this series, definitely hit that subscribe button below, and if you have any other rides or places you'd like to see videos made on, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I'd love to feature the idea in an upcoming video. So thank you very much for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed. Here is the link to the playlist if you would like to see more of these videos, as well as a video that I think you would enjoy watching next. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. See you guys!